So, in the previous video, we saw the systems introduced by the Britishers: judicial, police system, and military system. Now, let's move on to the land tax policies: the Zamindar, Roytwari system, Mahalwari system. So, first one is the permanent Zamindar system. Lord Cornwallis implemented a new land tax policy in Bengal and Bihar regions during 1793 in order to generate steady revenue per annum. So, Lord Cornwallis introduced the Zamindari system in these areas, Bengal and Bihar regions, in order to earn income during the year. This was called permanent Zamindari system. So, what are the features of permanent Zamindari system? Zamindar became the landowner. So, the Zamindar has to be in charge of the land. The Zamindar was expected to pay the agreed land taxes to the company on a set date every year. So, he is responsible to collect the taxes and pay it to the East India Company. He was free to collect any amount of land tax from the farmers and could retain the excess money and collected. So, Zamindar was responsible to collect the land taxes, but whatever amount was prescribed by the Britishers, he was paying them. The remaining money was enjoyed by the Zamindar. He was collecting extra money from the farmers. He was exploiting the farmers and collecting the extra money. Both the Zamindar and company were benefited by this system, but the farmers were the grave sufferers. So, the set amount was given to the Britishers. The Zamindar, nicely, he was enjoying the extra money. This system created a new social group that aided the British. So, the Zamindars were very happy with the Britishers because they were earning a lot of money. So, they were supporting the Britishers. The farmers, the farming laborers suffered due to irregular working opportunities in the farming lands. So, if the farmers do not get the job, even then they are supposed to pay the tax to the zamindars. So, they had a lot of problem. They were exploited and had to lead a life of insecurity. So, don't know whether to die or to live. That was the situation by the to the farmers. The system was extended to Bihar, Odisha, Andhra, and Varanasi regions later. So, first in Bengal, Bihar they introduced. Later, they introduced in all these places, Odisha, Andhra, and Varanasi regions. Did you understand, children, the permanent zamindari system? So, here the zamindars were playing very cunning tricks. They were taking extra money from the farmers and they were enjoying. The set amount was given it to the Britishers, the remaining amount was enjoyed by the zamindars. The Mahalwari system. Mahal means taluk. R.M. Bird and James Thomson implemented this system. The company government entered an agreement at the level of mahals, that means at the taluk level, with regard to payment of land tax in Uttar Pradesh, in many parts of Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, and Delhi. Okay, in all these places, the Mahalwari system was introduced by the British. What are the features? The big and small zamindars were part of this system. So, the zamindars were the part of this Mahalwari system. Since the company officials fixed more land tax than the expected production from the fields, so now the farmers have to pay fixed amount of money, this much for per year you have to pay the money. The marginal farmers and agriculture laborers who were dependent on these zamindars also suffered due to this. So, the zamindars were exploiting the farmers. The fixed amount they have to give it at the end of the year, whether they have money or no. The farmers and the small land holders have to give the money to the zamindars. So, this is about the Mahalwari system. Now the Roytwari system. The Roytwari system was first implemented in Baramahal region by Alexander Reed in 1792. Baramahal region. This system was later implemented in Madras and Mysore region by Thomas Munro. First, Alexander Reed introduced, then later Thomas Munro introduced this in Madras and Mysore regions. What is Rohitwari system? Under this system, both the farmer and the company were directly linked. So now no more zamindars, because zamindars were playing up in between the Britishers and the farmers. Here now no zamindars. The company, that means the Britishers and the farmers, are directly linked. The tiller of the land was recognized as the owner of the land. So one who is digging and planting the seeds, everything, is the owner of the land. So he is directly linked with the Britishers. The owner had to pay 50% of produce as land tax to the company government. Okay, so the owner, whether he is earning, how much he is earning is not the matter. The 50% of the produce has to be given to the Britishers. The land tax had 30 years tenure. The tax could be revived after this tenure. So it is like when you take the house for the this thing lease, you have to stay for 3 or 4 years. After that you can renew or you can go to another house. Like that, the tax duration was 30 years. So after that they have to renew again. Though the small farmers were given land ownership, they were subjected to more suffering due to heavy land tax. So though the farmers had land, they had to pay more than that the tax to the Britishers. The officials took punitive actions to collect land taxes. So if they do not pay the tax, strict punishment was given to the farmers. The farmers had to borrow money from the money lenders whenever the crops failed. So if the crops failed also, the Britishers were not listening. They have to pay the tax. So as a result, what did the farmers do? They went and took the loans from the other people. They had to sell their lands whenever they failed to repay the loans. So if I cannot repay the loans, I have to sell my land. Though the company government claimed that the new system benefits the farmers, the irony was that more farmers had to lose their lands due to its implementation. So though the company gave the land to the farmers, they have to pay the tax. If they don't pay the tax, the land will go back to the Britishers. So as a result, what happened to the farmers? As a result of this Rohitwari, Mahalwari and Zamindari systems, a new class of Zamindars who exploited the farmers was created. So the in between the Zamindars became beneficial and they started to support the Britishers. The farmers who were subjected to the exploitation of the zamindars became landless slowly. So the zamindars, as a result, what happened? They were taking away the land from the small farmers. Land became a commodity. Loans could be raised by mortgaging the lands. So land became a commodity, a commercial value. It has got a thing, it is a thing to sell, and loans could be raised. So I will mortgage means ada idodu. So if they have to keep mortgage the land and take the money and pay the loan. Many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands in order to pay the land taxes. So now what happened? The Britishers, if the people, farmers do not pay the tax to the zamindars, means the zamindars have to pay to the Britishers. So zamindars also had to give away their mortgage, their land in order to pay tax to the Britishers. The agriculture sector became commercialized and had to grow raw materials needed by industries back in England. So, here in India, what happened? The Britishers were forcing the Indians to grow the commercial crops in order to send it to the raw materials to the industries in England. The money lenders became strong. So now the farmers had to go and take the loans from the money lenders in order to pay the taxes to the British. So the money lenders became very rich. So this is all about the policies, the three policies: the Zamindari system, the Royatwari system, and the Mahalwari system. Next, we will move on to the education system. So, the Britishers introduced the education system in India. New changes occurred during the British rule during 18th century. Warren Hastings facilitated the expansion of the modern education in India. So, Warren Hastings is the Governor General who introduced education system in India. He started Calcutta Madrasa. So that means uh, a study center in Calcutta in 1781. Jonathan Duncan, a British individual, started Sanskrit College in Banaras in 1792 Common Era. Just see, children, the British are starting a Sanskrit College in Banaras. The expansion of the British education in India received special support after the appointment of William Bentinck as the Governor General of India. So once he came to India, William Bentinck, he started to give more importance to education. He appointed Macaulay as the chairperson of the Committee on Education. The report on education submitted by him in 1835 became the base of the modern education in India. So he wanted to, the Macaulay, William Bentinck appointed Macaulay to study the situation, education system, education system and the situation in India and submit a report to him. So Lord Macaulay and his commission wrote a report and submitted. Based on that, they started the education system in India. In his policy aimed at the creation of a new class of Indians who are Indian by body but British in intelligence, opinions, and taste. So they want to do the Indians, they want to create the Indians. So though by birth we are Indians, but they want us to become like the Britishers in intelligence, in their opinion, in taste. We need to become like the Britishers. So that was the aim of Lord William Bentinck being starting the education system in India. See, creation of a new class of Indians who are Indian by body. So though we are born here, we are by birth Indians, but in our intelligence, in our taste, in our opinion, we should become like the Britishers. The Governor General Lord Dalhousie established universities in Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras as per the suggestions of Charles Sute Commission 1854. After this, the education started becoming universalized in India. So, this is the second commission. First one is the Macaulay's Commission, second one Charles Sute Commission. So, after his report, the education system started to become universalized in the entire country. Universalization of the education. The impact of British education: Indians could develop modernity. So what happened after the introducing the education in India? All the Indians started to be develop modernity, modern secularism, democratic attitudes, and rationality along with nationalistic ideals. So the Indians started to think and started to have a love for the nation. So all these things started once the Britishers gave education to us. The importance was received for the local literature and languages. So far only local languages, but now what happened? The literature, we gave lot of importance to the local languages. This facilitated unity in thinking process among the educated class. So all those who were studied, they had opportunity to think more. Periodicals started emerging. That means the people those who studied started to write. These scrutinized the policies and working of the government, which in turn enabled the Indians to have critical opinions on various issues. So from now onwards, the people from India, those who are educated, started to think a lot. New social and religious reformation movements emerged. So you can see Dayananda Saraswati, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Rajaram Mohan Roy, Jyoti Bapule, Ambedkar, Gandhi, all these people started to emerge, come into the light. The thoughts of thinkers like J.S. Mill, Rousseau, and Montesquieu brought fresh thinking in the mind of the educated youth in India. So the people started to think and question the Britishers with so many things. The exploitation that the Britishers were doing to the Indians. So now the Indians are questioning back because they are able to think. Since the education is given by the Britishers, now the Indians are able to think and question the Britishers in return.